with Temple, our relationship with them, our CEO has allowed us to put our ABA apprentices and pay for 100% of their tuition, which is really, are you still paying off your student loans? Because I'm paying off my student loans. Yes, so for a few lucky people within our organization, you would get 100% of your tuition paid for your master's degree if you were to go through Temple University. That's not for everybody right now, but it is for between 20 to 30 people will be getting their 100% of their tuition paid for, which is amazing.
That's an amazing opportunity. When I was going to school, I wish I had this opportunity because I'm still paying back loans. And so just to work for a company that will pay back your tuition and support you in that area, your education as well, it's phenomenal.
And the lab, again, being the change we want to see, the lab will be interdisciplinary. And so the person that we're working most closely with, he is not a behavior analyst, but he has worked in the field of developmental disabilities for a very long time, and has done some really amazing longitudinal studies that I'm so excited to be part of. And so he has connections all throughout Temple with these other departments, with looking at, I would love to publish interdisciplinary research with behavior analysts, with speech language pathologists, occupational therapists, and there's this emphasis on continued growth throughout the organization. From the RBT level to the BCBA level, we have a leadership series for our clinical directors, which I think is really amazing. So it's all the way through your career is an emphasis on growing. We don't accept, stagnancy at all. Something that it goes along with our levels program is that we have competencies that you have to demonstrate over and over again, and you're measured. It is something that is objective and measurable. And so we look at a lot of different performance-based measures, and we measure that. We don't just give some generic good jobs.
Yeah, and it's also not a gotcha either, right? So it's okay, this is an area where you're falling short. How can I support you? How can I better support you to make you stronger in this specific area?
That it's not just hanging out and talking. It's really going over these performance-based measures. You know exactly where you stand with the organization on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And that is really in line with our culture of continuous growth.
But we do have preceptors here at this company. And so those preceptors are lead RBTs that go out and support newer RBTs. They support them with programming. They explain the programming. They show them, and by modeling how to disseminate that program with the client, they explain and model interventions that are used or have been used with the client. They help introduce them to the families and, what's a good thing to do, what's not so good to do.
The preceptor actually fills out a form that's competency-based, and so the RBT is not just maybe shadowing. So they're not just sitting there and kind of observing. The newer RBT actually has to demonstrate skills and be signed off on by the preceptor before they're in the client's home.
Absolutely.
Which is a huge selling point to these families who are coming to us saying, I want competent staff in my home. Well, we can show you over and over and over again all of the different competencies and measures that these people have to perform, these RBTs have to perform before they're in your home.